Zenless Zone Zero is a gacha game I want to defend. Never thought I would say that, but I feel like too many people are missing the point in all the goon and gambling. Games can have demonstrable problems and exemplary elements at the same time. No game, especially a gacha game, is perfect, but I believe the good aspects outweigh the less savory systems. Having reasonable critiques does not negate everything else on offer. Let me say a few things to start. Gacha mechanics and monetization systems are 100% gambling and can be dangerous for people with addictive tendencies. Do not ruin your financial stability for a video game. Please, especially a free-to-play one. I know this is easier said than done. However, I don't have an addictive personality and FOMO really doesn't motivate me. I recognize this somewhat exempts me from the worst aspects of Zenless, but the predatory monetization and potential risks require a disclaimer before I recommend the game. At least Zenless is entirely and honestly free to play. You can absolutely complete all the content in the game without spending a cent. It will take longer, require more grinding, and may test your patience, but remains very doable. You can pay to get every character and every weapon, but it only makes the numbers so much bigger. I am not free to play, but I'm also not even a dolphin. I don't need Silver Ambi since I have a well-built Haramasa I enjoy using. I don't need Trigger because I have a well-built Chingy I enjoy using. I don't enjoy Jane's playstyle and have never felt punished for not owning her, or skipping any other character for that matter. Zenless is flexible enough to let you clear content with who you want without requiring specific characters. A reasonably consistent player can clear most content aside from the hardest endgame fights, and even those are possible free to play with enough time and dedication. Gambling aside, let's discuss the gooning. Zenless is mainly known as the horny bait game, and it is. There's no reason to deny that the sex appeal is front and center, which means some people will never give the game a shot. To each their own, and no one is required to play something they aren't interested in, but there is more going on here than quality Rule 34 inspiration. If non-players know anything positive about Hoyoverse, it's likely the music. Hoyo Mix is insane. Yu Peng Chen set the bar really high as my first introduction to Hoyo music, and new songs kept blowing me away. The new Genshin composers and Sanzi's studio honestly steal the title of game company that makes games just to make music from Riot. Though, if you want a Riot song, Fearless. If you're in the mood for brain rot, enjoy Bernice's meme song, but I also love Die Midsummer Nacht Fantasie, Metal Chimera, Swirls of the Stream, Wonderland Reverie, and Long Live the King. Dance of Death gets its own love later. Port Almos isn't even the main city of Sumeru. Ellen was the debut limited banner character. Why is her EP that good and so hard to sing? You would think a song called Meow wouldn't have this much bass. Hyper Commission is an almost hour-long DJ set I still listen to regularly. Genshin sits closer to classical genres, but Zenless leans into electronic, retro, trap, break, metal, and more. Sanzi even keeps theming and region inspiration consistent. Juyen and Qingyi have Chinese songs, Section 6 is all Japanese, and the Sons of Caledon pull more from Western genres, even if Pin King could 100% be a Twice song. If you take nothing else from Zenless, at least give the music the credit it deserves, though the game is also an animation delight. Once you look at Zenless, the animation is impossible to ignore. Everything is bouncy, exaggerated, and moving fast. Jiggle physics are a focal point, but everything and everyone squashes and stretches to fit the amplified and distinct style. Nicole might be the poster girl for insane bounce, but even the animal NPCs aren't safe. The Bang Boo running animation activates my cuteness aggression. Boss move sets flow with telegraphed swings, and truly learning a fight lets you smoothly bounce between combos. Everything is over the top, but remains readable and cohesive. The combat style is fast and flashy, sitting closer to proper action games a la DMC or Nier. Parry, dodge, block, switch, and assist your way to victory. Play Caesar to parry even more, or let Astra buff your switches. Putting together a team of synergy adds the special touch that makes 3 agents plus a bang boo, so much fun. I have 3 decently well-built teams, despite disdrive roles seeming purposefully mean at times, but there's still in-game content that I can't/won't clear. I managed to get 8 out of 9 stars in Deadly Assault without too much issue, but the Endless Tower is really hard. Legitimately hard. Dance for your life because enemies hit back with a vengeance. Speaking of dancing, Act 3 boss reveal, but I'm going to take a moment to nerd out over the Ballet Twins boss. Ballet is often poorly represented in media. Oriana's animations make me so sad. Aside from the twin bosses sporting a black and white visage straight from Swan Lake, how they move is the most faithful representation I have ever seen in a game. Dancing on spike points instead of point shoes, the sharp platter tutu being a literal weapon. Without diving into more French than anyone wants to hear, their positions, specifically arm positions, are straight out of repertoire and modern ballet. Add the music, and the twins remain my favorite boss, despite the revive being a pain in the ass sometimes. I could keep talking about aspects of the IP that aren't the core game systems, like a true League player, but there's more to Zenless than music, combat, and walk cycles. For me, the biggest highlight beyond fun combat, outstanding music, and excellent art is how the game respects the player's time. You can get many resources for free just by playing the game. Daily reset rewards take less than 5 minutes, and weekly rewards are never hard to achieve. There is a skip button, something Genshin still doesn't have, but when you skip, you also get a little summary of what happened. If you like the writing, there is plenty to read, but you get the main points even if you skip every line. Not that quests are terribly long anyway. You can get through major chapters in a few hours with pop in and out agent stories, serving as perfect, quick, contained adventures with surprisingly sad moments. I'm amazed there aren't more paid skins, considering the amazing art that comes with each story. We are approaching 2.0 and we only have 2 paid skins, since Nicole's was an event reward. There is always something to do, but rarely is it a chore or time sink. Events pop up fast, dump rewards, and wind down before the next one comes along. At least most events don't contain limited time lore, even if the event weapons have yet to make a reappearance. Bang Boo Tower Defense and Fall Guys are some of the more involved long-term events, but there's also a permanent arcade that will continue to get more games. Whatever materials and resources, quests, and events don't provide, you'll have to grind yourself. Thankfully, leveling characters and weapons is straightforward. Match the icons and you get what you need any day of the week. Looking at you, Genshin Impact. You want to improve your fire attack agent? Go to the counter to find attacker seals and fire chips. Everything is in one place and easy to decode. If you have enough battery charge, you can replenish most materials, but you will run out of battery, and I have shamefully blown through most of my reserves. I've never been a fan of time-gated energy systems, but it offers an incentive to come back later while you do something else with your life. Once you're caught up with story content, it becomes hard to spend hours on end in Zenless, which I don't mind. I don't need another game taking up hours out of my day. Zenless has some flaws that some people will find impossible to overlook, but I think most who give the game a chance will be pleasantly surprised. Gacha systems deserve criticism, and the Gooner bait is flagrant, but I also greatly appreciate everything else on offer. If Stanley says hentai is art, then so is Zenless. I'll take inspiration anywhere I can get it, and if a free-to-play mobile game makes me want to try to write music, how bad could it really be? I choose to enjoy the positive aspects rather than nitpick the somewhat controversial ones. In a time when everyone seems angry about everything, I'm happy to just enjoy something. To anyone still watching, how and why, but also thank you. I like the idea of content creation, but I have no idea if people will listen to what I have to say. Sub if you want. Soduru mashigo isayo.